What's up, everybody? Good evening, and thank you for joining me on this first episode of Season 3, Hbtv, the show. I'm your host, Harry Bugarin. If this is your first time with us, I do appreciate your time. And if you are a continuing viewer, always love the support and love that you guys give us here at Hbtv. Hbtv, what is it? This channel was built to influence, inspire, educate, and empower. And that's what we do here. We bring on guests doing exactly that, not just in our local community, not just in our nation, but, we try to find guests, worldwide. And tonight, my special guest is just doing just that. He's inspiring, influencing, and just doing his positive thing. So if you haven't already, do me a favor, like, subscribe, share, and hit that little bell. Every time we go live, you'll be notified. And we usually go on Sundays at 6 p.m. So my guest tonight, my very, very special guest tonight is going to be Mr. Brandon Bibbins, professional photographer. And we're just going to talk about his journey, his story throughout this whole time. So do me a favor, help me welcome my guest, Brandon Bibbins. Good evening, Brandon. How are you? Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
All right, brother. Thank you. Thank you for taking the time to being with me tonight on the show here on HBTV Season 3. You are jumping off Season 3, man. So thank you. Thank you for that. It's really cool to have you on here. How you been, man? How you doing?
First off, I'm honored. I'm honored to be here. I appreciate you having me on this show. I'm doing great. Some just have the Super Bowl going on. I'm guessing that the Patriots pulled it off, and I'm excited. I'm excited for tonight. I'm excited to talk to you and just kind of share my story and what I've been doing.
And just really quick, when you say the Patriots, you mean Tom Brady?
Oh, my bad.
Tampa Bay Patriots, right?
Tom Brady. Tom Brady, right?
Tom Brady. I get it, man. I get it. Yeah, 6 times, 7 times. I haven't been keeping up with the Super Bowl and what's been going on. Just been prepping for the show. But for all of our viewers out there, thank you for joining us. Again, you guys could be watching. You guys could be watching that Super Bowl. You could be watching your Hulu or Netflix. But you guys are here tonight, live with me, with Brandon Bibbins tonight. So thank you guys for that. And at any time, we have Miss Joyce Brown on the live chat, and we have Mrs Bibbins as well, and my wife Sheila. Anytime you guys want to ask our guest Brandon Bibbins a question, just go ahead and put it in the chat, and I will do my best to field the questions and get there. Okay, so we have one guy here, Jay Bugarin, that's my compadre. He just said he switched from the Super Bowl to HBTV because Brandon Bibbins is must-watch TV. So anyways, again, so just a lot of things to unpack here. What I want to talk to you about is just, the last time I saw you, and I'm going to give the audience a little bit of history about us, but last time I saw you was pre-pandemic. That would probably be October, November of 2019. We went out to Urban Plates in Torrance. If you guys haven't been there, that's a direct plug for Urban Plates. Go get your meal out there. It's really good food. But that was the last time I seen you. And before that, it was been a while as well. And I was really amazed at the stuff that you've been doing since basketball and things like that. So it was really cool. So one of the things reasons why I brought you here on the show is just basically I wanted to hear about your journey, about the journey from the time when we first met, going on with basketball, transitioning to basketball, and doing what you're doing now. So get into it as much as you want, as much as you can, but just taking you back, I'm gonna say, you can correct me on the date, man. 2005, 2006 is when I met you walking into the gym. So I was one of the assistant coaches at Cal State Dominguez Hills at the time, and I had the pleasure to meet Mrs Bibbins, your mom, and yourself that time. And you walked into the gym. Your mom asked me to get training with you. And so I said, cool, let's go and do this. So, but going from that time, like, what was your mindset during that time? I know you were still in high school, but what was going through your head as far as your outlook with basketball life, and actually, what did you want to do?
Yeah, great question. When I was playing then in high school, I was all I thought about was basketball. That was my life. I lived, breathed that. I almost, even though I did good in school, it was only to do good in school to play basketball. And in college, all I wanted to do was, play D1. It was kind of D1 or bust mentality. And that I trained, I worked out every day. I tried to eat as best as I could. But, I was kind of limited at the time based on, my size. So I always knew that I had to work 10 times harder because of that limitation. And I'm thankful for that because, now during my career and my work, it's helping me. I have that work ethic from kind of childhood that was instilled in me, and it's helped me get in places that I don't think I ever would have been in without that work ethic. So that was my mindset at the time, just basketball, and that was it. So hope
And
that answers.
yeah, yeah, and just you were saying basketball. As far as like D1 colleges, you were talking about like any D1 colleges you were trying to shoot for, and any letters coming your way during the time, that we were training together.
Yeah. So I was looking at just the low to mid majors. That's it. I had, Northridge letter, UCSB letter. I had some couple schools in Tennessee at the time. And again, letters are just letters, until that real offer is down there. I had, a couple of them come to my games, but nothing was really set in stone. And I'm thankful for that though, because I wouldn't be here today with, if I would have went that route. So
Yeah, and man, I dig it, and there's so many stories, and probably about a lot of the documentaries that you hear about, certain athletes and certain players who get out there, and everybody has that dream. I mean, honestly, I wanted to play some ball, but nah, it didn't work out.
yeah,
Honestly, I was shooting for like, can I get on this Harbor College team? But nah, I couldn't even get on that team during that time. But I mean, I forgot what the percentage is, but I mean, maybe it's 1, maybe it's 2% of high school
yeah,
kids do getting to play in that D1 or even D2 arena,
hmm
and D3 and NAIA. How many of your players from your specific team actually had a chance to go play to that next level
for my high school
from your high school
basketball
team?
team.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say one, two. Um, from my class, only three,
Hmm.
including me. And then on my team at the time, I think we had a total of five that went on to play to the next level. But
Oh, is
that's
that right? Who was those three players that had that opportunity again?
Justin
Justin,
Cobb.
right? Okay.
Yep. Cobbs is big time. He's
Hmm.
still playing overseas right
Oh
now.
wow.
And he, got a shot, in the NBA too. Richard Solomon,
Okay.
he got a shot in the NBA as well. And Michael Panaggio, but Richard Solomon was younger than us. And then Tyler Harvey, who also played in the NBA. He was a freshman at the time. So I played with some amazing guys. Yeah, I'm thankful for that.
Yeah, and don't. I mean, it doesn't sound like it that he may Brandon may be saying he may not have been that good, but I'm telling you right now, I saw this kid first time, and he's a very humble guy, as you guys know, but he was a great player to me. One of the better guards that I had the opportunity to train during that time, and again, they're just stuff that you would hope for, like you said, to get to that next level. I believe that you could have, and whatever school you could have been at, or that you would play at, you would make that team, much better than they already were, and I truly believe that. So just going to that time, senior year, I go to that game of yours. I think it was at the Honda Center. You guys face up against Rancho Margarita, I believe, against one Clay Thompson. Am I correct when I say that? And I mean that guy was just at a different level. But anyways, after that, what was going on with the transition? I believe that was your senior year. You guys did great with basketball. What was going on after that? Where did you go, and what was the path after that?
Yeah. So after that, I decided to go to an NAIA school, Master's College. They were Division I NAIA school, and I was, excited to be playing at the next level. No matter what division it was, I just wanted to continue playing. I was, very, very grateful for that situation. My teammates, they were my brothers, and I'm still best friends with a lot of those guys today. So that was the next step, without getting too far ahead on how that journey went.
Yeah. Well, I mean, as far as that next step, how was it? How was that level compared to Bishop Montgomery and playing in those AAU tournaments that you were a part of? Like, how was that going to that next level?
Yeah, the transition, thankfully, because coming from Bishop, your mindset already with that program and the status that Coach Mitchell has it at, you're working all the time, and you set up time yourself to go out and work. You're only as good as you want to be. So going to that next step, it just was getting adjusted to the players, much bigger, much quicker players, and much stronger. But now I had freedom to go in the gym whenever I wanted to, but I was close to a gym. I was in the dorm, so I could just walk to the gym, and I had free access. And in high school, a lot of times we have to go and rig gym doors and break into gyms to go play. I'm not going to state some of those gyms, but that was the biggest difference for me.
Yeah, and as far as that experience, what type of challenges were you faced with, actually going to that next level and just being in that collegiate program?
Yeah, the challenges were managing school, since Master's College is a Christian school, so we had to go to chapel and have Bible studies mandatory. So managing school, that plus basketball, 6 a.m. practices, and after, you don't have time for anything else, much social life, or so you have to be very, very efficient with your time and not go out. You have to get to bed at a certain time, because you will notice burnout. But those are my biggest challenges, just incorporating all those things into one to be the best basketball player I could be. But that quickly changed because I noticed that I can't just rely on basketball anymore. I got to think long term and future. So I majored in computer science.
Okay.
It's probably one of the toughest degrees you can get, at that school. So majoring in computer science plus chapel plus basketball, it was a load. It was a huge load on me.
Wow. I mean, I can't imagine what type of curriculum you got to go through for computer science, but that is one of the majors I definitely stayed away from when I was going to school. Again, everybody, you guys are watching Hbtv, the show with my special guest tonight, Mr. Brandon Bibbins, and he's just talking with us about his journey, what he's been through, life challenges and victories and here and there. So just continuing with the basketball experience. You're at Masters. Like how did that experience end up going for you playing Division I NAIA basketball?
Yeah, it ended with my first year was more of I want to say a wake up call for me getting used to bigger, quicker players, and the second year was me more like my coming out year. I felt like, I was, doing pretty well. And I think myself, I got frustrated with playing time. And I also was dealing with some health issues as well. So all those mixed in, I thought that I would be better suited at another school. So I tried to jump ship, and I learned so much in that time on, you can't just go jump from one place to the next. If you really want something, you got to stay and you work at those things. So when I left Masters was the biggest wake up call for me because I didn't have any doors that were open for me to continue my basketball career. So it was when I hit that point where I was sitting on the couch, like, what am I going to do for the rest of my life? And yeah, I'll go into that, a little later.
Yeah. No, and no doubt, and thanks for sharing that because I remember during that time. I remember you going to masters and doing that. We talked a little bit about you wanting to get into another school, another team, and things like that. And I remember there was a time you may have been in that gray area where you're saying like, "Hey, I'm sitting here. Do I really want to go back and pursue this?"
Mm-hmm.
And I remember you calling me up one day, and you said, "Hey, coach, I'm about to get back in this. Do you have some time?" I said, "Absolutely, man. Let's get back into the gym on that, and let's work on that bank shot that you never wanted to shoot." But anyways, yeah. So you get back, you're laughing because you know exactly had to do some drills on some bank shots. But yeah, so you get in, I'm getting off this couch now, right? I'm about to do this. Your mindset. Are you 2 feet in, or is it like you're still in that little gray area? Like what was going through, your mind, your soul, your body, everything, during that time?
I wanted to be 2 feet in, but I could tell that I wasn't 2 feet in. It was part confidence, if I could really play, at this next level and get there, and part, do I really want to put in this much work to get there, or should I start looking, in the future and working at that? Because where I'm at right now, if I'm saying that I know I can't get to the next level when playing overseas or the NBA, then what am I doing it for? It's more wasted time for me, and it's more time for me to get into my career field. So I was 1 foot in, 1 foot out.
Nice. Thank you for that. So, as far as you realizing, right? As far as you realizing this transition, and we worked out a couple times. I'm pretty sure you worked out with some other people. Like, how was that transition for you? How was that transition for you to really realize, like, you know what, this is it for me as far as basketball. I'm gonna go ahead and try to change. And I'm gonna get to that point why I'm asking you how you felt and what you were doing with it.
It was one of the toughest periods of my life because I grew up playing basketball, and all I ever thought I was going to be was just a basketball player. And you hit a moment where you realize that that dream that you had is over. So what do you do now? I've put in this many hours in my life to be this person, and it's not going to happen. It's almost like you failed in a way. That was the feeling then. So yeah, it was a trying part in my life. Definitely a turning point in my life too.
Yeah. So what and the reason why I'm getting to this point, I'm thank you very much for opening up and telling us about that, because there's as people go through ups and downs, peaks and valleys in their lives, and especially last year for us, for 2020, we know things can just turn on a dime. And you experienced this pre-pandemic, and there's people experiencing this now. What type of strategies were you able to use, to help you move forward, to help you push through, especially mentally, and getting that. Well, like what types of things did you draw from to inspire you and say, hey man, you know what, basketball was this, like you said, I grew up doing this, now it's time for me to change and pivot?
Yep. First off, God, a lot of prayer. Um, if you have that at your center, nothing you do will or nothing that happens to you will never truly, shake you up, as long as you have that as your foundation. Two, you gotta have somebody in your corner that you trust. And luckily for me, that was my family. Um, my family always, they knew it was a rough part. I would be sitting on the couch all day playing video games, trying to figure out what I'm gonna do. I'd never done that in my life. So having somebody in your corner that's not afraid to tell you, like, okay, like, enough is enough. You need to get your butt up, and you can keep on moping, or you go and you try to, find something to do. So that blunt honesty from my parents, even from my little brother, that was huge. And I think I don't know if my mom remembers this, but she told me after a week sitting on the couch, you have somebody that's looking up to you. You know, you have the chance to go and inspire somebody else by doing something with your life. And once she told me that my brother is looking up to me, it made me want to go do something. So I tried to go figure out what that something was. And yeah, having somebody in your corner that is bluntly honest with you is definitely a key just in life.
Absolutely. And you know what? And before I go any further with, yes, my hat's off to Mr. and Mrs. Bibbins. They've always, seemed like to be the greatest anchors for you and your brother. Especially, when I first met your mom, class lady, man, and she just has this aura about her, and everybody who knows Mrs. Bibbins can, she has that smile like Magic Johnson, right? She'll light up the whole room, and you just gravitate to her, and she's 100%. She'll tell you as well. But just seeing her and your dad, and just seeing you guys grow up as well, it was really cool. And it's like there's been times when for my own kids, like, man, I hope my kids will grow up like Brandon and Justin as well. So hats off to Mrs. Bibbins, man, and Mr. Bibbins and JB. Shout out to JB out there doing his thing as well. So yeah, absolutely, it's that. For those of us who do have that support, definitely that would help, and I can attest to that in some of my life experiences as well. So again, you guys are watching Hbtv, the show, with my special guest tonight, Brandon Bibbins. You just talked about inspiring somebody, and someone looks up to you. We have a guest here, RBAJ. AD, I don't know your name, but it says Brandon is a great basketball player. My son Jaden looks up to him and his brother Justin. So great, you inspire these people, these kids on the court and off the court as well. So you went off and found something. It kind of clicked to you. Your mom said, hey man, get off your butt, get off the couch, get off that NBA, that live, and go ahead and try to get something. So what was that you eventually got into?
Yeah, I got into photography. I At the time, when I was in college, I was a writer for our school newspaper, and I thought I wanted to be a sports writer. So I was majoring in computer science, but I also was doing kind of a minor in journalism as well. So with that, they needed photos for our article one time, and our teacher tasked me to go take photos. And it was at that moment I kind of fell in love with photography. So my second year of college, I would always go and take photos of asking people, can I take graduation photos for you? I'll do it for free. I'll try to go to sporting events, take photos. So when I was sitting on the couch, I was like, I have this passion and this drive for photography. So let me see what jobs are hiring. So I applied to Lifetouch, school photos, and that was my first real live job in ever. And I would go back to my old high school to go shoot photos of graduations and sporting events, and that led me into a whole different kind of avenue of photography.
Nice. And so after Lifetouch, like what doors opened for you from there? After going back to Bishop or going to those schools in the local area, taking portraits for free. Like, where did that take you as far as your photography?
Yeah. So after I started working at Life Touch, I was able to post some photos, to Facebook and to Instagram. So I think people that I already had, connections with, saw that I was getting into photography and saw that my work wasn't bad per se. It wasn't great at the time, but they saw just a drive and a passion for it. My teammate from Masters College was getting married, and he saw that I had this passion for it, and he asked me if I could photograph his wedding. And I said, no, not at all. Like, this is a wedding. This is your one day. I'm not messing it up for you. You're my teammate. I respect you. Like, I will find somebody to do it. And he's like, no, I want you to do it. And it's like, okay, like, you go ask your wife. If your wife says yes and she's fine with it, I'll try to make it work. So she's like, yeah, like, I definitely want that. So I told him I will do it for free. And if I mess up these photos, it's not my fault. I will do my best not to. And, I shot that wedding and I posted the photos of that wedding, and I booked 5 more weddings after that one wedding. So wedding photography, for somebody that wasn't, really working, I was making more in one wedding than my paycheck in 1 month with Life Touch.
Wow.
So it was very, very lucrative. And once I saw that people liked my work, it's like, okay, like, I think this is something that I can explore. And I went full-fledged with it.
So at that wedding, right? Tell us about your gear, like what you used for that gear for that first. You just got into it. I don't know if you bought a Canon or a Nikon or kit lenses and things like that. But what did you bring to that wedding?
Yeah. If there's any photographers that watch this after, they're probably going to kill me. I shot with a Nikon D3000 that I owned. And I had a 50mm lens that I spent $100 on. Okay. I also rented at the time a Canon 60D, which was a crop sensor lens. And I just had one wide lens with me, a 24-70 that I rented. And I think I rented a 70-200 too, but I didn't use it much because I didn't know what I was doing. So I basically used the 50 and the 24-70 the whole time. Yep.
Nice. And was there anybody with you? Was this like you're just going solo bolo, or is this like, man, you know what? I got all this stuff. I'm carrying all this gear. I'm going to the reception and going at it.
Shout out to my friend Alex Davis. She helped me out with this wedding, and Alex, she came through in the clutch for me. But it was actually my fiance Stephanie that pushed me to do this wedding too, and to get into wedding photography. If it wasn't for her, I wouldn't have ever touched this wedding. So, Stephanie and Alex definitely helped me out with getting into this.
And shout out to Stephanie, my wife. She gets the I believe it's called the Veritas, the Bishop Montgomery newsletter. And she yelled from downstairs, says, "Hey babe," I said, "What's up, babe?" She goes, "Brandon and Stephanie are engaged." I go, "What?" but I knew that. You know what I mean? I knew that. I go, what are you reading that as? She says, "Oh, in the Bishop Montgomery newsletter." So
it's in there.
Yeah, it's in there. Yeah, check your newsletter. It's in there. So Stephanie, congratulations. Brandon, congratulations. So okay, cool. So you got one wedding. You got 4 or 5 more weddings under your belt. You're steamrolling now. I'm gonna assume, and you're saying you went all in. What does that mean? Tell us. You went all in. Like what did you do?
Yeah. So even though I say all in, I still was working a full-time job because I ended up getting my degree in IT. Okay. So I was still working in IT. I was working for the sheriff's department at the time, and then the sheriff's department after that I went to the ad agency, and even though people think of IT and photography as separate, I like to pair them together because I was with IT. What's special about it, you get to work on everybody's computer in the company. So everybody knows who I am, and I'm dropping little tidbits here and there as I'm fixing people's computer. Hey, I'm a photographer. You should follow me on Instagram. Look at my work on Facebook. Kind of planting that seed. So I knew that people around my age were starting to get married, and eventually people were going to start contacting me about prices. So a lot of my when I say all in, it was me marketing myself and going and trying to seek um, business and really following up on those referrals. So yeah,
That's awesome, man. I mean, you're putting it in. You got the legwork in. I'm assuming after a couple more projects that you had, you bought more gear and things like that. Any as far as your progression with this, any notable projects or milestones you can share with us?
yeah. I think, a dream of mine was always trying to get to 30 weddings a year. And, I started in 2014, and by 2017, I was doing 30 weddings a year. So that was huge for me. And I was doing that, while working a full-time job.
Wow.
So first milestone was getting to 30. And then after that, it was doing an international wedding or something overseas. So I've been able to travel to the Bahamas, St. Lucia, Mexico, around the US, and having people. It's such an honor to, one, have somebody trust you with doing their wedding photos. That is one event in their life. But two, having somebody that is um, far away or overseas seeing me and noticing me from LA and wanting to fly me out to go take, wedding photos. That's an honor that I will always um, hold in my heart, and I will work as hard as I can, for those people that do that. So yeah, those were the two big milestones for me.
Any notable projects you were able to do with photography thus far?
Yeah. Uh, so during the pandemic, with everything that was going on, um, I found I was really, empowered by all the protests and for, Black Lives Matter. So I went out and I took photos in my own community in Carson, of those protests. And I went from Carson to Compton, also in West Hollywood. And I wanted to draw awareness to the problems in our society. And what I did with those photos, I wanted to capture emotion, and make people see a story through my photos. So what I did, I did a short feature on it on my website, and I had a couple other companies, do a feature on it. And I sold my photos for about a month straight, and I donated all those proceeds to a nonprofit organization called Black Girls Code. Raised over $8,000 through the
Wow.
sale of my photos to that organization. That organization helps Black girls from the ages of 5 all the way, I think, up to 18 years old, to learn how to program.
Nice.
I think technology, me being in it, is the future, and there's no better way that I want to give back to my culture, and especially to Black women, um, through funding, organization like that. So.
That's awesome, man. And just really quick, the viewers and people, they can still see those pictures you documented on your website.
Yeah, they still can. If they go to my journal section on my website, brandonbibbins.com, it's the first header on there. Go ahead and click on that, and you can see all the photos.
Okay. And if they wanted to purchase, would they be able to do it off your site as well, or would they have to go someplace else?
Yeah, just go ahead and contact me on my site, on the contact page, or you can just go ahead and DM me on Instagram at FlashBibs.
Okay, cool. So that as well, I will put into the video description once the video is posted to my YouTube channel or on my site as well. So I'll have that all for you guys as well. So again, you guys are watching Hbtv. I'm your host, Harry Bugarin, with my very special guest tonight, Mr. Brandon Bibbins. And just want to let you know something, Brandon, from Mrs Bibbins. She says, "We are so proud of Brandon. He has found his gift that God has given him. And he is so talented and has accomplished so much. I feel like the best is yet to come." And she's so proud. The Lanejo, I'm sorry if I mispronounced that. Says Brandon is an amazing individual and a gifted photographer. So, you know, I seen it when you were first getting into it as well, and obviously you've grown so much. My question is twofold. What inspires you? What inspires you to continue to do this, and where do you want to take this?
Yeah. What inspires me is, man, every day I have the opportunity to I know it's going to sound cliche, but honestly, I really have the opportunity every day to create a memory for somebody. That's what inspires me to continue to do weddings. I've had weddings where, and I hate to sound, morbid, but it puts it in perspective where, the bride or the groom has passed away, and their last photos was of me taking photos, of them. So approaching every wedding, like that, it makes me want to produce a photo like you would not believe. So I keep that in my mind when I am, shooting weddings. When I'm doing branding work, what inspires me is I have the opportunity, especially during the pandemic with a lot of businesses struggling, to help somebody, elevate their business and bring them clients, and, even help support their family. So if I can do that through my camera, that's an amazing way to give back. So those two things really push me.
And where do you want to take this?
Yeah. Man, I've never thought about that question because I think that I'm enjoying this process. And of course I want to continue to grow. But I just love how many people that I'm meeting through photography and how many relationships that I'm getting to form. And these relationships are leading to other doors and other business opportunities and other just life lessons for myself. So I think when I have that open mindset where I'm not necessarily trying to take it down one path, but I'm open to everything, more fruits, will come with that.
And just to go back to like, you doing photography, do you guys, or do you usually work with a set team
Yep.
when you do different shoots, or it's just a matter of like what the project is? Do I need an extra hand or whatever, or you do everything solo?
Great question. For weddings, I always have two photographers. So I have a team of associate photographers. Um, and depending on, when the wedding is, if that photographer is available, then I'm gonna decide who's gonna work that, with me. But I'll also there are some weddings that I can't take where I will assign associate photographers to go shoot that. So that's how it's only for weddings that I have a team, but for everything else, for branding, I love to be one-on-one with clients. So I handle that myself.
Okay, nice. And as far as like during this time with the pandemic, when you do get clients, like how do you work it to where you're in compliance with that 6 feet, with the mask, and
Yeah.
sterilizing if you need to? Like, is it more challenging now, or you just have to be so creative to get like that perfect shot, or what you're trying to accomplish during the time when you're shooting?
Yeah, great question. So as you know, with the pandemic, weddings has completely changed. And you've had to learn how to pivot. I remember when it first happened, I lost 14 weddings in the span of 3 days. So learning how to pivot, tremendous, like you have to do it quick or you'll be dead in the water. So with weddings, they turn into elopements, meaning much smaller. Some are only just the bride and the groom. Sometimes it'll be the bride and the groom and just, mom and dad. But you learn it's helped you grow as a photographer because you've learned how to keep that 6 feet distance, but communicate with how you want people to pose. It's helped me to direct better and what I want. So I take every opportunity now to really grow and fine tune what I've been, weak at. And I've grown more in this time in a year than I have the past 5 years of me starting photography. So I think if you take it with that mindset, that even though the pandemic is affecting everybody, there is a way to grow from it and take it to that next level. So
You ever thought of I don't know, doing classes for either kids or adults, or do you do that now?
yeah, so I've thought about that. I've done some speaking engagements at my high school. I have one coming up
Nice.
as well, but I definitely want to do something more with kids. I love working with kids, and even just photographers that are just now starting in photography. So I think within the next year or two, I'm going to develop either an online class where I can kind of teach those things. And most importantly, I want photographers to, as they're getting started, I don't want them to make the same mistakes I did. I made so many mistakes, and it helped me grow. But if I could help somebody prevent those mistakes, I will. And I do it already for some photographers that just contact me over Instagram, but I want to do it to more people. So
Yeah, I'll be taking that class. So just let me know when it's available on Udemy or something like that. So anyways, again, you guys are watching HBTV, the show with my special guest tonight, Brandon Bibbins, and I'm Harry Bugarin. Again, if you guys have any questions for Brandon, please go ahead and chime in the live chat here. We got a couple more minutes with Brandon, and with that being said, like what would you tell that young person, male or female, wanting to get into photography? That's one, right? Wanting to get into photography, and what would you suggest for them? And number two, almost same question. Let's say, what would you tell that person who is having that rough patch, who
yeah,
is on that same couch,
yeah,
who is in that same couch, who's looking to pivot, just doesn't know how to, doesn't have that person to kind of push them.
yeah.
We all don't have someone, like a Mrs Bibbins, like
Mhm.
my wife, my mom's, and stuff like that. So how, what would be some of your suggestions and strategies for those who may just need that little nudge, who may need to even just hear something, to get them going in that right direction?
Okay. I'll start off with your first question. It was
Okay.
more for the person just getting started,
Yeah.
correct? Okay. For the person just getting started, how I learned quickly was YouTube. YouTube is your friend. We live in a society right now where there's so much information out there, and it's just a matter of how bad do you want it. So go out, you learn on YouTube, learn these programs, spend hours on perfecting, doing personal projects. Um, I would also say talk to photographers, talk to people in the industry. Never think you know too much. There's always something new to learn. I'm even at the position right now where I love to bring on associate photographers that are new because they teach me something about, even though you can get jaded to be in the industry for so long. So they teach me new tricks and things. So always be willing to learn new things. And most importantly, invest in people. Um, I would not be where I'm at today if it wasn't for people and my clients referring me and word of mouth. Word of mouth is the strongest form of business, and I'm thankful for that. So thank you to all my clients that have referred me out and been there for me and helped me grow my business. That's what I would say for the new person. For the person that kind of needs a nudge, and if they're in photography and things aren't going so well for them right now, um, I would kind of mimic the same thing. Start a personal project. It's something about personal projects that gets that creativity flowing, and for you to think of new ideas. Do something that you've never done before, photography wise, and watch how many doors it opens up for you in the business that you're in, that you're struggling with. Don't be afraid to try new things, and always reach back out to your old clients and invest in them, because those are the people that are going to be diehards and kind of help you out, when you need to pick up.
Awesome, man. Thank you. So, I mean, that's pretty much, we're coming up to our time, Brandon. Is there anything off the top of your head that you would love to share with our viewers? Any shout outs you wanna give out?
Yeah, just kind of what I mimicked before. Again, I'm just very thankful for everybody that has either been my client, that has helped me through dark times, that has even just liked my post, referred me, or um, it means the world. I would not be where I'm at without you. So thank you so much. Please, if you guys like this, found value, if you have any questions for me, I am an open book. I would love to talk to you to help you out. And yeah, I'm thankful for you too on the show for having me on as a guest. This is an amazing platform that you have, and I encourage you to just continue to do this. And yeah, you're changing lives right now.
Well, thank you for the kind words, brother. I do appreciate it, and I just want to let you know something. I was telling you, chatting with your mom earlier, but when we had that time, when you walked into that gym, I'm very thankful that God put that in play. God put that in play to meet you, your family, and have the opportunity to help guide you in that part of your journey. And throughout those years, man, you've really inspired me as well. You know what I mean? Just talking to you, training with you, and just in our conversations during training and post basketball especially, and seeing you just grow and going where you're at and where you've been, as far as like I said, we have those peaks and valleys, and how you were able to just get up, man, and pivot and go. And that's it's inspiring, brother, and thank you for that. I love you. Thank you for being in my life, your family as well, and thank you for taking the time to being with us tonight as well, and sharing your message, sharing your passion for photography and all that you do. So thank you very much, Brandon.
Man, thank you. Love you. Means the world.
Hey, so real quick, last question. Don't even
Yes, sir.
think about it. Nikon, Canon, Sony, go.
Tony.
Alpha shooter right there. I love it. So, anyways, thank you, Brandon. Enjoy the rest of your night. You stay safe. You stay blessed. And definitely we'll be keeping in touch.
Same here. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
No problem, man. So again, that was our guest, Mr. Brandon Bibbins. And, I hope you enjoyed the episode with him. Just talked about his journey, talked about where he's been, we talked about where he's going and what he wants to do. So again, if you haven't, please go ahead and like, subscribe, share, and hit that little bell for Hbtv. You'll get alerts when we're on. Anytime we go live, or if there's some new content being posted on the channel. Okay. Stay tuned for our next episode, or tune in for our next episode, which is next Sunday. I usually go on Sundays about 6 p.m. We have Mr. Brian Ward. He's local of Carson. He's a comedian, so we're going to talk to him about his journey and what he does as well. And also, for starting up for this first episode of season 3, just want to do that giveaway. Got an Hbtv hat for you guys. Go look on the video description. A little bit of rules there. There's some questions. Just answer them, in the comments of the video, or in my IG account, or Facebook page. And also, I got all the Laker fans out there. Got a little Lakers shirt right there. We're still doing good. Hopefully, we can repeat as champions. But this is a large shirt giveaway for you guys as well. Go ahead and answer those questions. And once I get a couple people out there answering the questions, I'll post the winner on IG, and I'll get in touch with you and send those out. So until next time, you guys enjoy the rest of your night with your families and loved ones. Please stay safe out there, and I'll see you guys.